This program was produced by and first broadcast on Radio Hawke's Bay, a community access media station. Thank you to New Zealand On Air for making this type of programming possible.
I'm a dreamer of 3D pictures. I'm a traveler of a different kind.
Hi there, it is Nikki Palamountain from Dyslexia Unpuzzled here with you this afternoon, removing barriers and changing lives. In my role as a neurodiversity coach and a specialist in learning difficulties, I help people that are facing challenges in reading, writing and math, either in an academic or professional setting. I work one-to-one with these people and identify practical solutions to help them overcome their learning barriers. I conduct assessments and pinpoint their specific learning needs, design a customised program that teaches strength-based tools and effective strategies to use in the area of difficulty. I work with people that are highly intelligent and fantastic problem solvers, but their perception of words, letters and numerals makes learning difficult for them. I help them to reach their full potential by teaching them lifelong tools and strategies to overcome their learning barriers. But firstly, what actually is dyslexia? Well, it's actually a type of thinking style. It's an amazing way of thinking where the person's brain prefers to think visually and in 3D pictures. Sounds actually pretty cool, doesn't it? But sometimes this amazing way of thinking can cause reading problems or writing problems or difficulty with spelling. Dyslexia, put simply, is a perceptual difference where when the brain becomes confused about what it is seeing, it tries to solve a problem. It does this by looking for a solution in a 3D manner. It works really well if you're looking for objects like a tower or a building or a boat or a car, but not so well for words and letters. Hence, one of the symptoms of dyslexia is how the brain flips around words and letters. The reason for this is that words and letters are 2D. The brain's preference is for 3D. Example, if you're sitting there and can picture an elephant in the room, and you can see this elephant from all sides, maybe you're even clever enough to imagine what it looks like from underneath the elephant, or imagine it from the top view. Try doing the same when you are thinking about the letter P or D or any one of those letters that can be easily confused in writing. Try flipping it around and the brain not being certain about anything that it is seeing each time it is doing this. This perceptual difference, or actually rather a talent, makes people with dyslexia incredibly good problem solvers because they do think in 3D and come up with out-of-the-box solutions. Some very famous people have made a career out of their perceptual difference, e.g. take Richard Branson and Walt Disney to name a couple of very well-known and exceedingly successful dyslexic people. Imagine Walt Disney if he didn't have an imagination. Well, those movies wouldn't look so amazing then, would they? Or Richard Branson with his rockets and goodness knows what else that he's managed to work with in his very successful career as an entrepreneur. There are many more successful people in business with dyslexia. They have learnt to work with their perceptual talent and make the most of it in spite of reading and writing becoming more challenging for them. So, how do you recognise if you or someone you know has dyslexia? Well, it can be difficult and the person may not even know themselves. They may just accept that this is the way they are and this is the way they learn. It's not until you actually really delve into what dyslexia it is that they suddenly wonder why learning has been such a challenge for them. There's actually 37 different characteristics of dyslexia, the most common one being the inconsistency of the symptoms. There's some very well-known symptoms like difficulty with reading. Individuals with reading with dyslexia often struggle with decoding words, recognising sight words, and may read slowly with lots of inaccuracies. They're often very poor spellers. Dyslexia can manifest in difficulties with spelling, and as individuals may have trouble remembering sequences of letters and words. They have poor phonological awareness. Phonological awareness involves recognising and manipulating the sounds of spoken language. People with dyslexia may have challenges in this area, impacting their ability to break down words into sounds. Many of the schools run phonics programs, and often these people with dyslexia will really struggle with putting the letters into sounds. However, the lesser known symptoms of dyslexia are things like time management issues. Dyslexia can affect organisational skills and time management. Individuals may find it challenging to estimate the passage of time or manage their schedules efficiently. Directional confusion. Dyslexia can impact spatial orientation and directionality. This may result in confusion with left and right, difficulty following maps, and challenges with spatial relationships, or actually in my case, manifests in a Pilates class where I just cannot tell my left from my right. It also manifests in difficulty sequencing information. Individuals with dyslexia may struggle with remembering and recalling the order of information. This can affect tasks like following instructions, remembering lists, or understanding the sequence of events in a story. It is, however, important to notice that dyslexia is a spectrum, and symptoms can vary widely among individuals. If someone is exhibiting signs of dyslexia, it's advisable always to seek professional assessment and support. It's very common for a person with dyslexia to feel feelings of frustration and anger. Dyslexia can make tasks that involve reading, writing and spelling more challenging than for those without the condition. This difficulty can lead to absolute feelings of frustration, especially when individuals may be highly intelligent and capable in other areas but struggle with traditional literacy tasks. This frustration may also arise from the effort required to decode words or the fear of being judged for making reading and spelling errors. It's crucial for individuals with dyslexia to receive support and understanding to help manage these feelings and develop strategies to navigate their unique learning style. Some of the things I noticed when I was in the classroom is when there would be kids with obvious avoidance strategies at reading time. One kid I know would race off as a 6-year-old to get his reading folder, and then all of a sudden as he approached a table would stop dead in his tracks, and the colour drained from his face as he knew he would have to sit down and try and read. Very sad for a 6-year-old to feel that they are in that situation. Another kid would often curl up in a ball and roll under the table to avoid being put in that position. Often they will be the ones that will suddenly decide that they'll cause a problem right at reading or writing time. So it manifests in various ways, and there is also the kid that tries to become invisible, or little Miss Goody Two-Shoes, or being so super helpful. You just need to be aware that this is also an avoidance tactics. Another common trait among individuals with dyslexia is a heightened susceptibility to confusion. This results in disorientation. Disorientation in this context refers to a situation where the brain interprets information based not on what the eyes see or the ears hear directly, but rather its own perceptions. This phenomenon contributes to the challenge many dyslexic individuals face in accurately understanding instructions. The tendency to misinterpret instructions is amplified when too many directives are present simultaneously, leading to an utter state of confusion. This disorientation is at the heart of the confusion when a person is trying to read or write. So, what do you actually need to know if you've got a person in your family that is struggling with dyslexia? Well, the first thing really is to educate yourself. Take the time to learn about dyslexia and its characteristics. By understanding the challenges and strengths associated with dyslexia, you will help your loved one more effectively. This knowledge can also guide your interactions and communication, fostering a more understanding and empathetic environment. You need to be an advocate for them. Sad but true, whether the person with dyslexia is your child, partner, a family member, or a friend, advocate for their needs. This may involve working closely with educators or employers to ensure appropriate accommodations are in place. Advocate for the inclusive practices that recognise and appreciate the unique strengths dyslexic individuals often possess. Provide emotional support. Dyslexia can sometimes be accompanied by feelings of frustration, as we've just discussed before, self-doubt or low self-esteem. Offer emotional support by acknowledging their efforts and achievements. Encourage a positive mindset, emphasising that dyslexia does not define their worth or intelligence. Creating an open and supportive environment allows the person to feel comfortable seeking help and discussing their experiences. There is often quite a stigma attached to having dyslexia or any learning difficulties. So support, emotional support and actual support is very crucial to people. So how can I best help my child? Well, seek professional assessment. You have to know what you're dealing with. Schedule a comprehensive assessment with an education specialist in learning differences, or an educational psychologist if you feel that is where you need to go. A professional evaluation can provide a clear diagnosis and identify specific areas of strength and challenge. This information is crucial for tailoring effective interventions. Keep open communication with teachers. Teachers are busy. They have loads of kids in their class. So your child is one of many. You need to make sure you initiate open and regular communication with your child's teachers. Share your concerns about dyslexia and their schoolwork and work collaboratively to create appropriate accommodations and supports within the school setting. Promote a positive and learning environment at home. Foster a positive attitude towards learning at home. Encourage your child's interests and strengths and create a supportive environment where they feel comfortable discussing their challenges. Regularly engage in activities that involve reading, such as reading together, and celebrate their achievements to boost their confidence. These steps can be instrumental in getting the necessary support for your child. Remember that early identification and intervention are crucial for helping dyslexic children thrive academically and build their confidence in their abilities. 3 things you should never do for a dyslexia is do not underestimate their intelligence. Avoid making assumptions about the intellectual abilities of individuals. As you've seen, they're highly intelligent people. Do not overwhelm them with information. Give instructions, no more than 3 instructions at a time is any amount. Okay, they simply cannot process an overload of information. This goes whether it's instructions or whether it is a set task or test in the classroom. Too much information just stops them in their tracks and they disorient, making the task even more difficult. Please do not stigmatise or label anybody with dyslexia. This may just perpetuates negative stereotypes. Dyslexia is a specific learning difference, not a limitation. Using positive and empowering language that focuses on individual strengths and capabilities rather than emphasising the challenges. Being aware of these consideration contributes to a more inclusive and supportive interaction with individuals who have dyslexia. It's crucial to approach dyslexia with empathy, understanding and recognition of the unique strengths each individual brings to the table. I must tell you though, what I'm also noticing is not just people that have dyslexia or dyscalculia that are coming to see me, but increasingly I am getting kids that are sliding under the radar at school. This is a result of large class sizes, homeschooling as a result of COVID. In open plan classrooms, there is tons of kids and 1 to 2 roving teachers. Unless your child is proactive in asking for help, and you don't have to wait in a long queue, well, you can see how kids miss out on their learning time if they have any learning difficulty at all and they're not getting access to teacher time. What are the different ways that I can help? I highly recommend getting, as I mentioned earlier, a specific learning assessment. I do affordable assessments that get to the root cause of what is happening with a person's learning. This is a must so you know what you're dealing with. This is a simple assessment which takes 2 to 3 hours of your time, and from them I write a report with my recommendations and the best course forward. In my report, I also provide practical solutions for school to help your child there or recommendations for the workplace. I also provide solutions that help you overcome your learning barriers, and I have different programs for literacy or numeracy. I've got my Learn Literacy for Life, which is a 4-phase program for lifelong literacy learning. I also have a program, Maths Mastery, Made Easy, another 4-phase program for math success. I've had incredible success with these to date. With the literacy one, I had a child come to me earlier this year, 2 to 3 years behind in his class. We did an intensive 1-to-1 program with him over 30 hours, and now 4 or 5 months later, in November, he came to me in May. 4 or 5 months later, he is now where he should be at his year level, which is encouraging for him going into intermediate next year. I've also currently got a child that has struggled with dyscalculia, and I'm working through this with her. She is already making huge strides, but there is much more to go with her, and I'm excited about moving forth with her in the next few days and seeing the results. I also am available anytime to reach out, and if you have any questions or would like to connect with me, there is always an invitation open for a complimentary connection call where I can address any concerns in simple, straightforward language. Check my website, dyslexiaunpuzzled.co.nz, for contact details and book a consultation, or alternatively PM me. Please check my social media pages, Dyslexia Unpuzzled on Facebook, and Nikki Palamountain on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and occasionally TikTok. Nikki Palamountain on LinkedIn. Let's together remove learning barriers and transform your life. Thank you this afternoon for tuning in to Radio Hawke's Bay today and listening to me as we unlock the mysteries of dyslexia. Don't forget, if you have any questions that you would like me to address on this program, then by all means contact me and I will put a program together to address those concerns. Just signing off now, it is Nikki Palamountain, Dyslexia Unpuzzled, removing barriers and changing lives. Tune into my show, Unlock the Mysteries of Dyslexia, on 104.7 FM or 1431 AM on Tuesday at 12 o'clock midday. And don't forget, you can download the podcast on www.radiohawksbay.org.nz. Thank you so much to my listeners. I always enjoy connecting with you, and I'm looking forward to doing so in the coming months as we approach Christmas. Enjoy the rest of your day. Nikki Palamountain, Dyslexia Unpuzzled, signing off.
This is my gift. This is who I am.
This program was produced by and first broadcast on Radio Hawke's Bay, a community access media station. Thank you to New Zealand On Air for making this type of programming possible.